Can you hear it? Welcome to Relay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the
And
Relay
anyway,
Station.
That was why we ended up calling her Old Yellow Pages, because at part... Were you in the middle of an intro?
No, I don't have one. Go ahead. It's all
No,
yours.
it's fine.
No, I want to hear more about Old Yellow Pages.
Well, you see, at parties, she would get really drunk and really open. And then all you had to do was just form an orderly queue. And, yeah, just flip the pages.
Ah.
I see.
And and the Yellow Pages are filled with people. I get it.
In a sense, yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Hello. Welcome to the Relay Station, the show where we talk about Star Citizen. And boy, howdy.
That's debatable.
No, it's not debatable. We talk about other things too, but we at least mention Star Citizen. Historically, at least. So, historically, I guess currently is debatable, but, you know, we do what we can.
Hi, Agronukle.
Hey, Agro, how you doing? So, it's IAE. IAE has started.
Yes. Welcome to the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. 2951.
We are, what, 2 days into IAE?
Yep. Anvil Day was first day. Second day is RSI. Third day, tomorrow, is Aegis.
So what have we seen so far in IAE?
The Redeemer.
Well, we got the Spartan.
We saw the Redeemer, and was that in Jax's thing, or was that just
No.
No, that was after.
Okay.
It was the second half of Inside Star Citizen.
Yeah, it was an ISC. The Jax's thing was about the Spartan.
Yep. So
Getting blown up.
what do you guys think of the Spartan? Actually, let's. I think I can actually show the Spartan.
You should put like a picture or something of this.
There's the Spartan.
Hello, Spartan. I can't see you yet, but I'm sure you're there.
Oh yeah, good point, Bob. Bob Smith. CIG made it past 400 million.
They did. They cruised right on by. They were almost there already before IAE started. It happened really fast. Also worth noting that first full day of IAE, they already are over $1 million for the day. It's they're gonna make a lot of money the next before December 2nd here.
Yep. That's good because what they're making is, yeah,
Expensive. Remember
Very.
how they just said that they're going to be going up to 700 employees in the UK next year? Yeah.
And next year, and then aren't they going up to 1,000 after the next few years? Like they've got some expansion plans.
In that office, they're expecting to get to 1,000 by 2028.
Yeah,
So
they're
going big, folks.
I was actually wondering, like, what
I need dollars for that.
So they're gonna have 1,000 just in the UK. Then there's.
I'm including the Turbulent Studio with them. No.
Having just 1,000 in the UK. Don't forget they've got the other UK studio as well, haven't they? The much smaller one.
The tiny one, yeah. They might.
Then
they've
got.
in.
So they've got the.
That would actually make them one of the biggest employers left in the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. It's a good thing it's just data. That way it can pass through freely.
For the moment.
Yeah. Fair
Right.
enough. But 1,000 in the UK. They've got Germany, Texas, LA, and Turbulent.
Which I mean, I know they're not actually a CIG studio, but they're pretty close.
What are they like? They must be at
So they're already at 700 people in the company, 400 of which are in the UK right now. So by next year, in the entire company, there'll be at least 1,000 by the end of the year, in the entire company. And then up from there, probably hitting 1,500 sometime later this decade.
I'd be sort of interested to start looking at comparable video game developer in size.
There are not a lot of developers that have 1,000 people.
Well, I know. Like, who does?
I mean, spread across studios, surely Rockstar, because they're so good at doing remasters. They must have a large, competent dev studio, or several.
Yes, I think it's pretty significant.
I think EA must be. Every studio under EA's umbrella must surely.
But EA is the publisher, right?
They're a developer too.
Oh, they
Yeah.
do, yeah. But...
Microsoft.
Well, the thing is, Microsoft doesn't really make much. They have small studios that do.
I don't know. Windows is pretty popular.
It's not a game.
Is it? Is it popular?
Solitaire is a game. Thank you.
Look, Solitaire's all well and good, but I want them to bring back the pinball.
Oh yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
I spent many a day playing that pinball. Anyway, numbers are going up.
For example, I found one example that actually kind of gives some context to the whole thing.
Cool.
Apparently, Bungie is somewhere in the range of below 500 employees.
Really?
Bungie actually making these days.
Destiny.
Oh.
Yeah.
that was something. Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll take a look, Aggro. It's entirely possible.
Your gain might be a bit up because you are a bit distorted.
Am I distorted? That's weird.
Slightly.
Generally.
Oh, where's gain?
Oh, sorry, I was a little off on my number. I found a better source. Bungie's at about 600 employees, but that still makes them smaller than CIG at this
Is that
point.
any better? Let me know if that's any better. Anyway, it's fairly significant the size that CIG are getting to, as well as the the funding amounts. 400 mil is
a lot of money.
a lot of money. Should be just about everything they need to
They'll
be
use
okay.
the money they have though. It should allow them to. Well, it should allow them to have all the freedom that they need to finish making the game. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's going to stop. And everyone thought, including me, I thought last year was an aberration because of COVID. But it's looking for all the world like they're going to make just as much money this year as they did last year.
Oh, I mean,
So-
it's not like COVID's gone away.
To the extent that of the reasons we were talking about it last year,
Yes.
it kind of has.
Yeah.
Because everyone was locked in their houses for the entire year. Whereas this year, it's been not quite as much that.
It tends to keep coming back for some reason, though, Karen.
Yeah. Let's not get into that
No.
because
So, yeah, we'll never get out of it again.
no.
But
Numbers numbers all across CIG are going up. Employee count, funding dollars, patch numbers, they keep going up.
Yep. All right.
Number of buttons you need to use on the keyboard keeps going
Oh
up.
Number
my
of-
goodness.
Number of times David's played Star Citizen still going up.
Okay, look. Let's talk about that right
Crash
now.
number's gone up because it started at 301k, now it's probably 305k.
No idea what you're talking about, Carbide. Look. we'll get into the Spartan and some other stuff in a minute. I just want to say that I actually launched Star Citizen today for the first time in
A couple
honest
months.
17 years.
yes. Played for the first time. I was slightly annoyed that I couldn't fly the Ares Inferno in Arena Commander, but apparently that's a known issue that I just have to reset my character for, which I've never done because I don't play Star Citizen very often, clearly. But aside from some significant hitching at various points, like when I made it down from the elevator into the lobby, from my cab down the elevator into the lobby, I had like 5 or 6 seconds of just slideshow. But after that, it ran quite well. Really impressed by that. I'm really, really pleased with the beginnings of the inventory system.
Yes. Yeah,
Phenomenal.
it's going along really good.
One of the things, honestly, that stopped me playing Star Citizen very much previously was how abysmal it was to try and equip anything. I hated it. But now the inventory being like drag and drop, it needs a little more explanation of things. Like, it took me a bit to figure out that, like, I was trying to just drag one undersuit on top and replace the one I was wearing, but no, you have to swap them rather than dragging. There needs to be a bit more like context explanation of what's going on. But for the most
This
part,
is the beginning of the beginning.
if it's phenomenal. I will be right back.
Yep. Oh, he's been caught. Oh my god. No capes.
That was amazing.
That was incredible.
No capes.
That was
Cut
incredible.
out from Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
When the
Somebody in
Emperor
our
pulled up, he was like,
chat there needs to clip that and then put Edna mode in there.
No capes.
Great.
Anyway, inventory system, phenomenal. Love it. It took like a minute for me to get out of Atmo with the Inferno.
Oh yeah. She fast.
It's fast. That was fun. It felt fine. And then like I took I got out of Atmo, took a contract to go back down to Crusader. It's just selected where the contract was and like quantumed to it, and it just quantumed me right around the planet to it. The last time I played that didn't exist, and it just, holy crap. Like they've actually done some things to make the game play better.
Yep.
But
Slowly
then
but surely getting there.
then I got down to the the encampment that I was supposed to go down and find some guy at, and shot about 500 rounds into an AA turret from the Inferno. Probably missed about 499 of them, and then I blew up.
Yeah, those stationary targets are wily.
I never said I'm good. I said I played.
Fair.
Anyway, no, I was quite pleased and quite impressed. I really actually enjoy playing Star Citizen in like 2 to 4 month jumps, because I get to see a lot more improvement between each one. It's like, oh, the game is significantly better than the last time I played.
Were you able to check out the planetary clouds on Microtech?
Yes, they were pretty.
Excellent. I haven't been in yet.
Looked good. It all looked good. Shiver, you look like you've been trying to say something for a couple of moments.
No, it was just various thoughts and passing as you were saying things, and like the most recent one was when you were saying I like to play it in 2 to 3 month gaps, and it just made me have the thought of, yeah, I can understand that, but then the downside of that is with other early access games, and they'll generally have small content patches every month, every 2-3 months, just like SC does. But then they'll be like, okay, so now we're at the next big milestone of beta, and there's this huge spew forth of content. And I don't think we're going to get that in Star Citizen.
Nope.
Because of the way it's all gradually being built, and it's basically, here is iteration 1, put it in the game. Here is iteration 1, put it in the game. And yeah.
It'll slowly come along.
Well,
yeah, exactly.
And then one day we'll go in and we'll be like, wait a second.
But it's coming along at such a steady rate that I prefer like seeing something different when I hop on. Whereas if you're playing every patch and especially every like 3.5 like the 0.1s and stuff, you're not going to see as many big things, and I don't have time. But I played it today and I was very impressed and very pleased.
Excellent.
I think I'm gonna really, really like the Starfighter.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I jumped in, I was shocked to my core, not because of the content, and it was only 7 or 8 months ago I actually logged in last, but I had it on my hard drive, my regular platter drive.
Oh my god!
Admittedly, a Western Digital Caviar, the fucking 128 megabit cache, 7,200 RPM, shake your PC apart if it goes too fast kind of bastard. But it was smooth.
Really?
And it was like, why is this happening? You're on a platter drive. You should be a bit more, but yeah, if you're willing to spend that much money on a hard drive, you might as well just get an SSD just for Star Citizen, to be honest with you. But I am one of those people that I hoard data like a dragon hoards treasure. I'm like, I haven't played this game for 6 years. I'm going to move it onto my storage drive. I've got something insane, like 16 terabytes worth of storage.
Oh my god.
Yep. No, I very well know that that I opened this beer and I'm really disappointed because it's undrinkable from the can, and as carefully as I've tried to pour it out, this is what I've ended up with.
That's a lot of head there, David.
It's so much head.
Come on,
anyway.
Shiver.
Yeah, the only thing I need to do.
Complains about it. I'm quite a fan of head.
I want to swap my Inferno for an Ion. I don't like the Gatling gun.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I've always liked the Ion a little more anyway, but especially with some of the recent changes, it's
yeah.
I want my laser sniper.
Yeah, I'm gonna be swapping it to an Ion. Okay.
Question for that, and you guys can pretty much. I don't. It might not be the immediate thing I do, but so I have a Vanguard because I wanted a combat ship. That's the only reason I have it. Should I swap the Vanguard for the Ion?
Yes. Well, for a combat ship, I don't think the Ion is going to be a good combat ship. The
what are you
Ion.
gonna do with it? Mine?
Well, no, but it's going to be a very particular kind of combat. It's not going to be like an all-rounder for combat. It's going to be it's a cap killer, not. Does that make any sense? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very different tools for different jobs.
Yep. It's for blowing up bigger things.
Yeah, the Vanguard is longer range missions, you and a friend.
A lot tighter.
Doing a lot of smaller scale combat.
Yeah.
The Ion is dedicated to be a support, or at least needs support as well.
There are better combat ships, like the Scorpius might be good.
Ooh.
The Scorpius would be, I think, a pretty good swap there. Personally,
my concern is that one of the reasons I got a Vanguard is I wanted a long range combat ship, and some of them are really not. Some of them are very much designed to be used from a carrier. So, does anyone know what the range is like on the Scorpius? I can look.
Bob, you're right. Like the Starfighter itself is to be used with a group of other ships, right? Like it's
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
It's like honestly, it's sort of like a tally, right? The tally is there to hit things fast and hard, but it needs fighter support around it.
Tally's got a bit more defense to it, at least. You're not, if you catch a Tally on its own, it's not totally screwed. If you catch an Ion on its own, you're totally screwed.
I mean, it's also got a crew complement, whereas the Ion is one, but the Ion is the one person do a hell of a lot of damage, which even more than any, like, it's a glass cannon. It absolutely needs support, right? Mm-hmm. The Ion and the Inferno are glass cannons. You shouldn't be going out alone in one of those, which is 100% what I'm going to do all of the time.
And then bitch that the game's unbalanced because you keep dying.
Yeah, it's too hard.
Why is my ship always disabled? I keep needing to call for help to tow me back to base. Brutal. Look at all these holes in my hull. Jesus.
All right, let's go back over here, and let's talk about.
Have we talked about the Spartan?
We haven't. We're going to talk about the Spartan now because they showed off the Spartan this week. It's a troop transport. Fits 8 troops in the back.
Well, 8 troops sitting, but I believe they did say in the video as well, I see no reason why, if you can just get loads of people standing or sitting on your lap, you couldn't just fill that bastard.
I think you could.
Direct quote.
Yeah, I think you could absolutely fill that bastard. I think the idea is probably going to be that the seats will save the people in it from concussions when they get bounced up and down. Anyone just standing in there should hopefully get thrown around, right?
Just bend your knees. You're good. Absorb those shocks, you know.
Built-in shock absorbers. Yeah. Until you hit a really big bump, and then you're lying prone on the ceiling.
Yep. That's a really big bump.
Mag boots are for.
I mean, it looks fine. Okay, so I was thinking this while watching this. So the one thing I really liked about this has absolutely nothing to do with it, with any of it, except that they've got another name for the chassis that it's on, the Atlas chassis, and I really like that because yes, that's exactly how cars are made. Look at the number of cars that are on the same chassis. You normally have like literally dozens of cars on one chassis because they just, yeah.
And now, whenever you're talking to someone and they say, "Oh, they've abandoned modularity," you can just say,
Kind of. It's the same chassis, but I like that they've actually they've stated it and they've named it, right? Eric?
I really like it, but I know I'll never own one. APC gameplay to me is not a thing. That's
the problem,
like
the biggest problem with APC gameplay is that you have to have, enough friends to fill an APC.
Well, not necessarily. You need an APC, and it just doesn't really fit with my view of how I'll play the game. Watch now, I'll be completely wrong, and APCs will rule, and my entire Star set is in existence.
They sort of.
But if you're gonna have an APC, this is a good one, and I like the hey, we're just gonna use our AA, like the ballista frame on it.
And I like
cool.
them doing that more. It speeds up the development time as well because they've got they've got it all, right? They have the general dimensions, they have the general white box, they have the design language.
General white box.
Just build something new on it. Love it. So really, really happy that they've done this.
That missile strike. That missile strike on that Cutlass is so pretty.
Yes.
It's so pretty. Oh man.
And how it hits it and then it just starts spinning out of control. Gorgeous.
Love it.
Yeah. So that's the Spartan. Anyone in chat grabbing a Spartan? If so, why? Genuinely curious.
Why are you sexually assaulting Master Chief?
It's a good question.
It's got an interesting role and purpose. It's one that you're going to either literally own one of, and you're like, okay, gather up some friends, hire a mercenary group, we'll get you in at night, and we'll ravage this person's base and then get the fuck out. Or you're going to have these big organizations. I was thinking of Corpse, but that's Eve, where they have just this dust field off on the horizon, and you're like, oh fuck.
What's my fastest ship out of here?
Yeah.
How do I run away?
But
Yeah.
where are these going to be stored? If you have this army of Spartan APCs, they haven't. That I mean, I know we've got
Your bases.
garages.
Yeah, but which one? And how do you transport it between them if you set up a new base?
That's interesting.
You have to. They've already established that you have to transport it. You got to do the thing.
I know, but there's only one transport ship.
Early question.
Why is there only one transport ship?
I think there's only one ship that'll fit one of these right now.
Well, I know, but you could have 700 of them.
Yeah, but there's only one. I mean, it's not cheap.
You can be able to bundle them on hulls and things, but it's a basic question, and it's a necessary question to ask because of the very nature of this APC. So you know that CIG have already had this discussion, and if they're releasing this APC, they must have come to a conclusion that we haven't heard about yet.
It's true. I
think it just ties into the whole base building thing, right?
Yeah. Bob Smith, I think you're right. Like you'd have to hire a Herc. I don't even think this would fit on a Liberator, to be honest. But you could
probably put it in cargo containers as well and put it on a hull and things like that. But
might
still,
be too long for cargo container. But
we'd
we'd have to see.
Oh no! You can put ships on a hull. You can put this on a hull.
Yeah, that's fair.
Not longer than a ship.
We'll have to see.
Because transport is a very basic thing right now of point A to point B, and that's not the CIG way, is it?
No, it's not. It's not.
There's something. There's a part of this piece. There's a piece of this puzzle missing that they haven't told us about yet. Watch this space.
Well, so here's something interesting that I was thinking of again while watching this piece on the Spartan. Okay, it will fit in the Liberator. Okay, that's good. So
I think we all need to appreciate Shiver saying, "Watch this space." That was beautiful.
It was. It was very good.
Thank you, Shiver.
Thank you.
Do you remember? God, I don't. Was it this year or last year? I literally don't remember time anymore.
You need to finish your question first.
Roads. Remember when they showed us procedurally generated roads all over the place?
And that was a really long time ago.
Really?
Yeah.
That was like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. They're not even doing that system for roads anymore. From what I think, my guess is they would use the system that they created for rivers to make roads.
No, they showed us that. I thought they showed us
before the bad times. They did show us they were manually placing these roads, and they could just do like that. And I think Eric is right that they have now moved on from that tech, and it will be procedurally generated automatically when they make a planet, and then they can just send.
I thought they had showed us roads using that procedural tech.
You're right, David. You're right, David. It was in August.
Before they, yeah.
It was in August, and I forgot about it. You're right.
Thank you.
It was only a couple
Am I
months
in an
ago.
alternate universe?
It was a couple months ago. They did it. They did the thing.
But so they've shifted the roads over to the procedural way that the rivers are done. But if you think back to when they first talked about roads, what they talked about when they talked about roads was actual like traffic going along those roads, like people cars and like 18-wheelers, transports using those roads.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be how you start seeing a lot of things like the Spartan getting around on planets. Because once they have roads, they're going to need cars for those roads. Even if players never drive those cars, you have to populate the roads, or else what the hell's the point of the road?
They've just become this standing out mark of they're just here for players to use.
Yeah.
That's quite grating.
Yeah, and you can't populate them too much because they've got some balance that they're going to have to figure out. Because if they're too active, that's just weird. Why are so many people driving when we have spaceships? And if they're not populated,
they're still going to base it on population density, I would imagine.
Oh,
it would make no sense for Terra to have the same level of traffic density as Grim Hex.
Yes.
That's a terrible example, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do. Anyway, the Spartan's cool.
And they've also got to employ those poor artists that are sat there going, oh, you're going to want us to make civilian cars of different tech levels and luxury levels now, aren't you? God damn it.
Hey, now that they've started talking about chassis, maybe they can just port that over to cars.
That's true.
Saves time. All right.
Modularity, man.
Yep. Enough about the Spartan. Let's talk about Shiver. It's time for you to wait. Eric, what do you think about the... All right.
Think about what?
The Redeemer.
The Redeemer.
Yeah, we saw the Redeemer this week. No, Shiver, go ahead. This is Shiver. This is Shiver's baby.
Don't prick tease Nakara like that. Don't be all like, I'll tickle your balls, but I won't give the shaft any attention. Let the man talk.
The Redeemer. I think I really like this role for it more than its original role. And I think it turned out really well after kind of languishing for a long time. It looks like a really scary gunship that will have a lot of firepower and a lot of flexibility. Like, you could probably operate it with only 1 or 2 people. And you could also carry a whole bunch of people because it still has a bunch of jump seats in the back. So you could have a gunship that has a full crew complement and some like shock troops as well, or you could just fly it as a fighter. Maybe not like a pure dogfighter, but you know what I mean.
Shiver.
I really like it. Go.
Shiver, what do you think? You have been.
So this is a ship.
You have been
that you're gonna
very, very excited by this ship for a long time. Are you still excited by it?
Yeah, it's got a fridge.
That's
all you really need, right?
That's the qualification.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, fridge and or coffee machine. No, this is the ship that you're going to roll out when you see constellations and taliators abound. You're going to bring in this Redeemer to just wall of death is what it's going to be.
Shit out of them, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this is what it is made to counteract, and it's probably also going to be able to take on lighter fighters, but I would imagine they're going to balance that out with maneuverability.
Yeah, but it
but
has
yeah,
two massive man turrets. So if you have those turrets, man,
Size 5s.
even fighters are gonna have a hard time against you. It'd be a scary thing to
but
fight.
Yeah, when it was first announced, it had that strange hybrid gunship troop transport thing, and the troop transport is basically obsolete at this point, so they're going all in on a gunship, and it's a more affordable hammerhead that's, yeah, like I say, it's designed to take on these retaliators, those similar sized ships. The Hornets and such like will be able to take on tallies and things, but they're going to have a much harder time of it. This is the bad boy. I still don't like those fucking hair straightener engines, but I can live with it.
I love them.
I don't think that the graphics on the hair straighteners are right. I don't like how it all comes straight up or down from the hair pins. It should
come back.
It should come back the way you're going. It's your thrust. I disagree entirely with the VFX of that. My thoughts when I saw this was like, wait a second. So why am I going for an Ion again when this thing has like just so many guns?
Oh yeah, and they don't have the punky submarine thing.
I'm disappointed they took that out. I liked it. I liked the idea that the ship was breathing. Pretty ship. It still looks like a shopping cart. Needs new wheels. It needs tracks instead of wheels, honestly. But
it really does. Those wheels look bad.
They've definitely improved it from the original concept. And yeah.
Oh, and it's got the cockpit was based on the Gladiator.
The Gladius.
Gladius.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting carryover, I think.
I thought it was very interesting as well. I do like. They said that they're going to be looking into giving the hair straightener engines additional maneuverability as well. They want them to be able to go in and out, not just like this. So it should be cool to see what the final version of the ship is. Hopefully they do fix the VFX on the hair straighteners as well.
I was thinking actually when I got into the Inferno, that it has a phenomenal cockpit. The view from that might be one of the best views I've seen. It's just so open. I really, really liked it. But I don't know, it's just I keep coming back to every single ship they do is like twice as good as the last ship that they did. Every single new ship they do is just, holy crap, this is amazing. Look at all the animations to it and the detail and the way it works. Everything just keeps getting better, and that's really, really fun because the Endeavor is going to be one of the last ships they make, and it's going to be glorious.
These aren't even the ship's final forms.
Nope.
I wonder about that. I still wonder about that because, God, I don't even know how many years ago they said it now. But there was this talk years and years and years and years ago about like updating ships every couple of years. So like you've got your 2950 Aurora, and then you've got your 2955 Aurora that has some improvements and maybe some better like they change the ship slightly every couple of years, and I still really, really like that idea. Like,
I like the idea too, but I think you're not going to see it with some of the early iterations of the ships because they just simply don't work properly in the game. I think you'll see that more towards release and beyond release, where you actually do have fully functional versions of the ship that work in the engine.
Yeah.
And don't have way too many polygons like Freelancer.
Look, the Freelancer still needs a rework. Period.
Well, it'll get at least one more pass because it still hasn't gone through the gold standard pass or whatever it's called.
Yeah. But I like, even if they don't use previous ones, I like the idea of
Going forward doing it?
Yeah, going forward, like, here's our Freelancer now. This is it. This is gold standard. This is where the Freelancer is starting. But in 2 to 3 years, oh yeah, we've updated the Freelancer slightly. This is the 2947 Freelancer, and it actually has, like, they've increased the view on it because they found that people didn't really like looking through arrow slits to see where they were going. You know? I want them to do that. I want them to update these ships. And then, 15 years from now, oh, look, I've got an original Aurora, and now it's worth something on the Star Citizen market because there's collectors that want my original Aurora.
That'd be cool.
I mean, even out of game, it comes with the advantage of, as newer graphics renderers and texture improvements come in that they've been working on, they can just do a new ship without having to get rid of the old one at the same time.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, I think I'm gonna just have the Whitley's Guide play.
It was good.
No.
I really enjoyed this one. They keep upping their game, not
They
just on the
did.
ship.
It's I mean, you should actually watch it, but it's good. It's a good episode of Whitley's Guide. I really like Whitley's Guide.
Yep.
It's a lot of fun. They've gone they seem to have gone a bit. Sorry, go ahead, Shiver.
I think I preferred it when it was on GBC rather than being on Spamazon Prime.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was definitely better. Well, it's a different show on Amazon Prime, right?
Well, in name only.
No, in format. That's the problem. They changed the format and they lost some of the magic that it had originally.
I think they're just repeating ideas now.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I actually found it kind of interesting that they're like, this isn't just Whitley's Guide this year. Now there's some drama. They're throwing in like some story and some character development. How cool is that? It's genuinely cool.
It's awesome. Also, I'm not sure if anybody noticed. I'm guessing they did. The facial textures and animations for Jax are very good. I was very impressed by all of his little scars and pockmarks and, facial features that they were able to put in there.
Yep. Urban Burger, that's actually a really, really good question. And just a thought here. Eventually, no, Shiver, don't.
I know where you're going. I know where you're going with this.
Do you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, here's where I'm going, and you can tell me if you know where I'm going. Eventually, in Star Citizen, we're gonna get farming. And wouldn't it be really, really cool to show off that farming by having Jax do the farming?
Yes. Of course it would. Be amazing. It would be perfect too if his farm was actually on an Endeavor.
There it is.
I think that'd be great. That'd be a great way to show off farming in Star Citizen, is have a couple episodes of Jax figuring out farming. He gets given an Endeavor and he has to figure out how to farm on it, and he starts by hating it. And then by the end, he's like, actually, you know what? It's a good little
luck.
ship. It's a good little ship, this Endeavor.
Good little ship. Little is apparently what we're going for here.
It's a little ship.
It's gonna be the size of a space station.
It is a
Just happens
space.
to go
It is a
places.
space
Just
station.
happens to go places.
It's a space station with engines.
Oh,
Urban Burger. It's a fantastic idea. I really, really like it.
Oh, you could be foreshadowing something new, yeah.
Okay, so how many? We've got what? 4 episodes of Jax coming? Is it 4?
They're gonna make me look it up again, aren't you?
Yes, they're every 2 days, I think.
No.
I thought you said 19th, 21st. Oh,
It's the
24th?
19th, the 21st, the 19th, the 21st, the 23rd, and the 27th. So there's 4.
That's a weird gap.
There isn't one on the 25th.
Why is there not on the 25th?
I just want to point out, I really like the homage to player characters in cutscenes that they have with Stog, or whatever they're going to call a guy who's legally distinct from the
Jimmy.
city.
His name's
with
Jimmy.
Space helmet and tie, shirt, formal trousers, but space helmet.
Yeah, his name's Jimmy. I
Gotta
really
love Jimmy.
I really like the drone cameras that are flying around everywhere. I think that's a great. Like there's a lot more going
it's so
on
cool.
in this episode than in previous.
There is, yeah. They're like making an actual show.
Ah, Ghost, thank you. Right. Americans with their weird day for Thanksgiving.
Oh, right. It's almost. Oh, okay. Yeah, it was supposed to happen last month. Like normal civilized people.
Yeah. I don't know why they will leave it so late. It's weird.
Oh my. So what else do we have to talk about, David? Or are we should we chat about Jax here somewhere?
I mean, we've chatted about
What else
Jax.
do you think? What else do you think we're going to see at IAE?
Something new.
Is the Spartan going to be
something
it?
Shit.
something borrowed, something new. So what? How's that go?
Something borrowed,
Something old, something new, something blue.
Something old,
you
something
go.
new, something borrowed, something blue.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got. I don't even know which one we've got.
Is the Spartan old because it comes from a previous design?
It is now.
There you go.
We've got something old, so we got to see something new.
Okay.
Or maybe it's
Hang on,
borrowed.
hang on. What if the Spartan is something new? Something old is the Redeemer.
Oh, that's not a bad idea either.
Something borrowed.
A ship that's been
Jax.
clearly ripped off from an Jax is definitely borrowed.
Something blue. Well, the only company I can think of that's got blue heavily embossed with them is Misk. Because haven't they got like the blue Musashi logo?
They do.
Yeah,
Background
yeah.
with
They also have
Musashi
like
logo.
a blue freelancer as well.
Bob Smith, chat about Misk new ship.
There's a new Misk ship?
I hope it's Misk.
Yeah, they're my favorite manufacturer.
I don't know if they're my favorite anymore.
They're my favorite.
Crusader,
It's
man.
Origin. Have you seen the line? No.
Crusader
pretty excellent,
Crusader is fast. Like, I
though. They're
mean,
real good.
Misk have some really good ships, but the Freelancer is just, it's not there. The Starfarer is bit unwieldy for my liking. I would like some new Misk ships. I think they're one of the highest quality ship manufacturers, but Crusader are just knocking it out of the park with just style.
Yeah. A lot of Crusader ships are just gorgeous. They're pretty great. Yep. Yep. Okay. So you think we're gonna see something? So the only thing you think we're left to see is something from Misk? Is that what you're saying?
Oh wait. Oh, the Hull A. Is that the Hull A? Is that the A?
Could be. Yeah, the Hull A is coming.
Well, no, the link that Ghost just put in there, is that the A? I think that's the A.
I can tell from looking at it.
They wouldn't be
maybe I
releasing a
can.
ship that's A on American Thanksgiving. That would be a Canadian Thanksgiving thing.
Is Misk Day Thanksgiving? No, I know that one, Ghost, but that's not really new, right? We know about the A.
Yeah.
So some
According to the
manufacturer.
schedule, Misk has a special reveal on their day, according to Bob Smith.
Okay. So I
if
guess
there is nothing new, we're going to find Bob Smith and hold him accountable.
Damn it, Bob! What are you doing then? Jeez.
I mean, the new reveal is not going to be the A. We've seen the A a number of times. We haven't seen it like this. And God, that's a cute ship. It's so cute.
Actually had a new ship from Misk for quite a while now, actually.
What's the last new
when was
Misk
it?
ship we had? Also, I will
I'm
be
gonna go
right
look
back.
at their lineup. Are you going to be right back? Are you sure about that? I don't trust him.
I'm still trying to think. What is the most recent Misk ship that's been? Oh, would that be like
Looking right now.
Prospector?
That's not new though.
That's my
mean,
point.
Might be the newest one, but it's not new.
Yeah.
Looking right now, Prospector. Those are all old.
Because they've been expanding
Oh
Drake a
my
bit.
God, you're
Drake-
right. It is the Prospector. Holy crap! I think it's the Prospector.
Drake's been expanded significantly. Oh, the Razor. Yeah. That's...
No,
Does
Razor
anyone else
was-
get a bit weirded
Razor was-
out when it's like Razor, Misk?
Every manufacturer needs to have a racing vehicle. It's like,
Anvil, Aegis.
but yeah, like the Prospector, I think, is the newest Aegis or Misk ship, and that is very bizarre because the Prospector has been in for years.
Oh no, that's Drake. Vulture's Drake, isn't it?
So you guys are saying the Razor was newer than the Prospector?
Yeah, but the Razor's not really a ship. The Razor's a piece of crap.
Wow, that was aggressive.
Jesus. Way to segregate 3 people of the audience.
Nobody likes the Razor.
It's really hard to take you seriously sometimes.
Why?
I just don't know. You just give up this aura of, I don't know if I can really take him at his word. I can't place my finger on exactly why. It's just
weird.
something you're projecting out there.
Yeah, I have that effect on people, I suppose.
Oh man, that's funny.
Bob Smith says the Misk Odyssey is the name.
Oh,
Where's
why do we
that
have a
from, Bob?
name?
Yeah, where is that from? I could not. I like that one, Carbide. Well done.
I don't know. We don't have much to talk about this week. It was a good week for the show,
So
but
I was right. The Prospector did come before the Razor, but only by about 8 months.
Only 8 months.
Well, both ships were in 2016, so
2016.
yep.
That's
Oh,
okay.
well,
Last week.
You know
That's true.
what might be interesting to know then is, so clearly Misk has gone a while without a new ship. What?
Now they're
What-
going to get a wave of them.
But what manufacturer how do
You
I
can ask a question.
I know I'm trying to
Use
think.
your words.
I'm trying
Eris.
to use the
Project.
words. What
Enunciate.
have any manufacturers gone longer than MISC without a new ship? And if not, what is the manufacturer that has gone the longest without a new ship?
Whatever corporation Banu.
Not counting
Oh, yeah.
alien ships.
Well, Consolidated Outland went without anything new for a long time, but I think they have had something recently.
Kruger Industries.
Oh, that's a good one. Does Kruger have anything new?
No.
I'm gonna look.
Just
I'm gonna look right now.
Merlin, isn't it?
Kruger.
I mean, they're not really a ship manufacturer. They're like...
Yeah, they are. They make ships. They just make little ships.
They make the SIM card that goes in your phone.
Good point. But yeah, they haven't had anything in a really long time. Consolidated Outland had nothing new for a very long time, and then they had the Nomad.
Yeah.
So they got back in the game. Everyone else pretty much has had new ships more recently.
Yes.
Consolidated Outland was the one that really stuck out in my head until the Nomad was introduced. Because they didn't have anything between the Pioneer and the Nomad. Which is a long time.
So, I think about this every once in a while, because CIG have...
Do you?
I do.
You
I
have
do.
A family. You're renovating a house.
Oh my God.
You have a really hard job, but still, you find thoughts about star citizenships. Really?
Yes.
Yep.
Do
Yes,
you?
actually. Yeah.
Yep.
Genuinely.
He does. Quite the thing, right?
It happens. If you think about all of the... I want to call them archetypes. Mining, refining, transport, fighter-to-fighter combat, fighter-to-large ship combat, capital ships, like all the different archetypes of ships. There's one archetype still missing.
What's that?
Food.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the food truck. See, you see, I have a vision for you, David. I got a vision for you. You ready for my vision?
Yep.
All right. So we're going farm to table, okay? We're gonna have an Endeavor. It's
Yes.
gonna be a farm, and we're gonna have hangars on the Endeavor that have food trucks inside them. They take the food from the farms and they fly out to the universe and go sell it.
I love it, except that MISC would never make a food truck.
Why?
Because you
People
have
need to eat, David.
But you have to know that food trucks have to be, by definition, a Drake ship.
Or Argo.
Drake. No, Argo would be like...
Drake works too.
It's got to be Drake. It's got to be one of those, like... Those things that you really wonder how they're still running and how they show up on that curb, but there's that food truck and it's like... the best food you'll ever have from that food truck, and it's so good, but the truck itself is just a pile of ass. There needs to be a Drake food truck.
So are you trying to say you want people to eat ass?
Yes.
I mean,
Okay.
blame him, really?
Ghost, that's a good point. A medium ship that isn't a Cutlass or Freelancer. I mean, the Redeemer is
Ships as well.
the Redeemer is technically a medium ship, is it not? It's the same.
I
Or it's
think
Yeah, it
Connie,
is.
though.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, the
wouldn't that
con
make the Connie and the Retaliator medium.
at this point, aren't
The
they?
Apollo.
Is he? Is Apollo in game yet? Am I losing my
No.
mind? I didn't think so. Why is it not in game? If we have medical gameplay, get the damn Apollo in the game.
Yeah. I
What's
mean,
going on
there,
here?
there does need to be something else that competes directly with the Cutlass and the Freelancer because they.
Yep.
And honestly, it could just be a working Freelancer.
Oh boy.
You know I'm right.
Pretty
You
funny.
know I'm right.
So
The
why?
No one
Freelancer-
argued with you.
My question is, why is that not the Redeemer? I mean, it's got like three to seven crew, depending on how you want to set it up.
So I think the Redeemer would be a medium ship, but it's a medium combat ship,
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
right? It can't
Is
do
Is there any cargo
Not-
capacity in that sucker?
Two.
Not trying to
two
be
SCU.
that guy, but
Oh my
what
god!
does that make the Retaliator and the Constellation then?
the
Medium
Connie.
big.
The Retaliator is also. I think the problem is thinking of it as anything as medium. There's like extra small, small, small-ish,
Kind of small.
medium small, medium large, large-ish, larger, largest, bigger than large, big, really big, Endeavor,
Or
Then space station.
and then Endeavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, larger than
Harris's
life
self-inflated opinion.
of himself.
Amazing. Ba-dum-ba-ba-ba.
You know what? Okay, no.
Yeah, I suppose you could say that you would have cap ship, sub cap, corvette, sub corvette, everything else.
There needs to be something else in the Cutlass Freelancer size because there's not really. It's the
What about
Terrapin.
what about the 400i?
Isn't that more Connie? Though?
I thought the 400i was more Connie.
It's a max crew of 3.
What's the Terrapin's max crew?
Not two.
Terrapin. I will find it. Just give me a moment. It's an anvil ship, right? Is my brain feeding me the right manufacturer? Yes, it is.
Beer.
The Terrapin is a max crew of 1.
What?
Yep.
No.
That's what the website says.
Weird.
It can't be.
It's a big solo ship.
station?
Yeah, no, that's definitely not a max crew of 1. I don't know why. Why is your website so broken? Are you in here, Jake?
I mean, hasn't it got a turret on it as well?
Totally does.
Man.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not a single person ship. I don't know what that's all about. Let's see if I can find the actual information about this bloody thing. Terrapin. Maybe someone in the chat has a
look,
Terrapin and
look.
they can tell me.
Jake
I mean, it gets confusing though as well because you can't just measure it by max crew because the Reliant is 2-man crew, but
Yeah.
that's effectively a starter ship in a way.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely.
I mean, Jake has told me numerous times that the ship matrix
is
is
toast. Yeah, it's not
not a
good. They
reliable
really need
source
to
of
find
information.
something. They need to find something they can publish that actually they can keep up to date.
Yeah.
It's got to be tied to their internal system about how the ships are built or something. I don't know. Or not built, how they're maintained internally.
But yeah, like, see the way that chat is speaking now. There's no clear-cut definition of some of these ships.
I gotta say though, that's good, isn't it? I
Yeah,
don't
it's not a bad
want
thing.
And no.
I don't want ships to be slotted into this is a small ship, this is a medium ship, this is a large ship, and that's it. I'm happier that there's this. Oh shit! Where does this ship fit? That
Yeah, honestly, it is a little better.
I had to
because then
focus
you're not
really
like-
hard there to say ship.
I do think it's better because then you're not going, okay, now I'm going from a small, my starter ship up to a medium ship. I have 3 medium ships to choose from, and I'm going to choose this one.
Yeah.
After you go from a starter ship, it gets really, really muddy in a big hurry. It's basically what you want to do. That's basically where you go from there.
And that's a better way of doing it, is making sure there are multiple person complements of any ship. Or multiple person complements of any archetype, right?
Yeah.
You want to have your single-seater your single-seater mining, your multi-seater mining. They've got is it the Mole?
The Mole is a multi-seater mining ship, yeah.
But then they've got the Orion, which is a multi
Just a beast,
massive,
yeah.
right? They have that variation.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
And even operating an Orion is going to be more like having a mining operation rather than going and mining. If you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
It's going to be a whole thing.
You're gonna park your Orion in an asteroid belt and mine the ship out of things.
Where
That's
are you
right.
going to store the Orion when you don't want to be out there mining? Or is it, I have an Orion, this is what I do now?
Where will you store it? I have no idea, but it definitely does need to dock to a space station. So maybe you pay docking fees at a space station. I don't know.
Carbide?
It's going to be a
Yes.
serious investment.
They've
just
talked about
happy.
that with all the large ships. All the large ships will be very
Yep.
expensive to operate.
Remember
They're
when
not
they?
like a easy thing.
I really liked that Carbide, but I also really liked when they announced, I think it was the Javelin, and they were straight up, this ship is
yes.
being sold pretty much empty, and it is going to take an org to outfit it.
Yeah, I really wish they
And
didn't
it's going
bail
to-
on that.
Yeah.
That would have been really cool. It just reminded me of this, and I thought it was really cool. So I probably mention this every episode, but it keeps reminding me of it. I just finished reading the 8th book of The Expanse. The 9th one comes out in 10 days, which is the last one. But one of the things I love in there is I actually do kind of, it's mentioned as part of the story, but there are times where they're like, yeah, so our ship got the shit beat out of it, and now we got to go fix it, and fuck, that's expensive.
Yeah.
Like
I always
now
forget
the
about
ship
the
looks
Corsair
brand
and
new.
Star
It's
Runner.
got all these.
I always forget about
know,
the
right?
Corsair and the Star Runner.
The Corsair is a cool looking ship. It's weird and cool.
Oh.
You guys like
So-
the Corsair?
There was another thing, while we're talking about size, there was another thing I wanted to talk about size, and actually, hang on. I want to get...
Why do I always end up having this conversation with everyone about size?
Because you bring it up every time. There's specific language that CIG used, how many years are we in now? Like 9 years?
Yep, almost exactly.
There's specific language that CIG used like 9 years ago that I don't know if I can
Oh
find
my
it.
god.
But
You gonna try and hold them to something they said 9 years ago?
no, I'm not. I don't want to hold it to them. I want an update on how it's going to work, because there was 9 years ago, they were like, the Freelancer is the largest ship that can fit through a small jump point.
Yeah, and that was that. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if that entire system gets reworked.
I no, and I expect it to. I hope it does, because that's ridiculous. I'm just wondering, how's that going to work now? Because it made sense back then, right? Like, you had a couple small ships, a couple medium ships, a couple large ships, and you could do that. You could do small, medium, large jump points. It made sense. how are they going to do that now? Because there still has to be a benefit to having, like, an Origin. Crap, what's the bloody exploration one? The small one.
325A.
Oh, the 315p.
315p. Like, there still has to be a benefit to a 315p over something like a Carrack. There have to be jump points that a Carrack could maybe not go through, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. Like, it's just been so long since that design was made. I don't know if it's relevant anymore. I expect we're going to hear a lot more about that when they start being able to actually expand the game universe, which should be next year sometime.
Again, it feels like so much is hanging on that. Like, so much is just they've got so much ready, and they're just like chomping at the bit. And the second they can expand, it's just going. I feel like there's going to be this literally a vomit of comment. Sorry, hang on. Thank you. Vomit of content. A content vomit.
No, I was actually thinking about that earlier too. They are in this situation right now where they're kind of basically all they can really do for the actual game world right now is build new gameplay features.
Yeah.
But they have all this other stuff that's being held up by the barrier of server meshing.
They've been working on new locations for a long time.
As soon as they nail server meshing enough to actually be able to put another star system in the game, there will be probably an almost entirely complete, at least one entirely complete star system that'll just be like, hey, you go, bloop.
Yeah.
Now the game is twice as big.
I mean, that is a huge plus to the way that they're doing things right now, of just having one system, and it's like, right, we're going to just put every system we can make right now in here, and then
every game system.
You just open up a new system. It's every game system, and then you open up a new area, and it's like, we have the game systems. We place these game systems in there in this new area, and it is new content, and it literally doubles it. You are quite right to say it will literally double it.
Well, won't it not necessarily, because isn't Stanton like
Stanton's one of the larger systems in terms of like major centers and stuff, but Pyro will still be like,
it's going to be a lot of
there won't be as much settled space, but there will be big like ruined space stations, big asteroid belts, large areas that are probably pirate infested.
And I'm hoping we get a lot
each
more.
Each system is unique and will have its own shtick, so to speak.
Totally. Yeah.
I feel like Pyro's going to have a lot more gameplay opportunities from Lawlessness than Stanton does. Like, Stanton is still a relatively lawful system. They can't go
almost
overboard.
Extremely lawful. The UEE actually exists in it.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. And Bob Smith,
going back to what you were talking about,
that's going to change, though. Like, for now, they're going to be at 50 to 100, but that is going to increase and increase and increase almost exponentially, and we don't know what the limit is. In theory, the limit that CIG are talking about right now is like continents.
Yeah, for sure. So they start off small and they go big. But what I wanted to mention was that I personally think they will still keep some semblance of the size of jump point system in the game. I think it'll be down to simply like capital class ships, and then large ships, so everything sub-capital, and then small ships will basically be single-seater ships. Very roughly.
On the player count in systems front, 50 to 100, should X, Y, Z go completely right and according to plan, won't that would be really pathetically small because of the way the shard system is working. Stanton is a server, which is then broken down from those into sharded, in essence, instances. So just pulling stuff out of the air. Stanton is a server. The actual content inside of it, like the constellation, so to speak, would be a shard, and then each planet is a shard. I think
it's the other way around.
Other way around. I think
the shard is So my understanding is that the shard is like one. It's like on a World of Warcraft server. I'm going to go play on, I don't know, Storm Swamp. That is my shard. That's the whole server, and with all the players in that server, that's a shard. But the way that they're describing is that there will also be server nodes within the shard. So that will be your I have a capital class ship that has 100 people on it, so I need one whole server to run it. You know? That'll be on that level.
So you shouldn't, and I'm with you, Bob. If it's how it is going to work, and if they can get it to work like that, it should be 50 to 100, whatever numbers in one shard, but those numbers are not going to be reflective of how many you could have in a system.
Yes.
I wouldn't think so. And honestly, we just don't know at this point. They need to really anything.
But here's the thing.
They mentioned this. They mentioned this. Anything they say right now is complete speculation. They don't know until they actually do it. They need to do it and see what happens.
They don't know. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
CIG haven't given us this much detail on a system in years. The fact that they have given us this much detail on the system, to me at least, and this is complete conjecture, to me says that they have a fair inkling that this is going to work, because over the last 4 years at least, CIG have not given detailed information on how systems are going to work. Remember, we used to get whole freaking design documents explaining how systems are going to work? That doesn't happen anymore. They don't talk. They don't.
They actually answered this question. Someone asked them how far along is server meshing, and their answer was very advanced in development.
Yeah.
Like because what they pointed out is that we've actually seen lots of pieces of it over the years, all the object container streaming stuff, server side and client side, and persistence, and there's a whole bunch of different things, entity streaming, so on and so forth. It's come out. They've been working on it for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Already, it's almost there. So.
I feel like if they're at the point where they are willing to explain to us in detail how it works and theorize to us that they can get to, I
hate networking stuff because they tried to explain it to us and still none of us really entirely grasp how the whole thing's supposed to work. And I'm not even sure they know exactly, but they probably do.
I think they know. And I think they tried to explain it, and I think... And this is the problem with words.
Networking stuff is just brutal. It's always like this. It's like, okay, it's magic.
The problem with words is people can still interpret words however you want. Yeah. Because I read that, and when I was reading through it, I was like, oh, they're clearly using 100 as a quick example of a number. They're not using it as the hard limit. It's like, we could have said 100, we could have said 500, we could have said 10,000. It's just, let's put a number here to explain the point. That's how the words read to me. But other people saw that as, 100 is the limit, the game is dead, it's over, run away. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's not what they were saying, clearly. Mm-hmm. But words are tough. And unless you've got, like, an author someone who writes words for a living, going over everything that they write to say, how do we better explain this? We'll see. Bob Smith, when it comes to latency ping, that's actually something that they mentioned, right? They figure that at worst, they can probably get to 4 or 5 servers or shards for the entire world, in that you need... There's a physics limit between data transmission from North America to Australia. It's physics, right?
This is how fast you can possibly get it there.
So it's very unlikely.
Sharks are a problem, yeah.
Sharks,
the sharks steal some of the data.
They do
along the way.
They're pirates, but there's literally a physics defined limit to the speed of data transmission from one side of the earth to the other. But that's why they're saying, you know, all of North America could be on one shard and all of Europe could be on another shard, because that's reasonable, and that's how lots of games do it already, right? When you sign up, when you go to play on a Battlefield server, you select North America servers, and then you've got a reasonable ping to all North America servers, or all Europe servers, or all Asia servers. You separate the world into these large segments that all can connect reasonably. The hope is, and my thought...
It's pronounced segmentons.
Segmenton? Yes. Thank you, Shiver. Very correct. The hope is that they eventually, because don't forget, CIG have partnered with Amazon, and the hope is that they can eventually use, probably, in my thoughts, the constellation that Amazon planned to build in orbit to reduce the latency time between these segmentons, so that they can have the same latency within North America as they'd have between North America to Asia, for example. And that might not happen. We'll have to see. There's lots of ifs, ands, and buts throughout. But they can probably, if they can get server meshing the way it's supposed to work, and if they're telling us how it's going to work, they can probably get it working the way it's going to work, because they don't tell us things that they don't know is going to happen anymore. Because look at what happened with the fucking golf swing. Since the golf swing, they don't tell us shit. So if they're telling us this... Sorry. I know I'm ranting.
Okay. Can I talk a little bit about the whole Kuiper thing?
Yeah.
Kuiper is the name of their satellite constellation. They're planning.
Amazon's planned.
Sir, can I go to the loot, please, sir?
Yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
Thanks.
But you have to answer a quiz about this when you get back.
Okay.
So the one question about this, and this is not trivial, is one thing that SpaceX has really been pounding away on is trying to develop the laser interlinks between Starlink satellites, and they're not quite there yet. And I don't know whether or not Kuiper will have laser interlinks. It's a very, very advanced technology. So if they don't, then it doesn't offer any benefit to Star Citizen.
But here's the thing. Is this a 5-year game? It's not going to be out in 5 years.
We're still going to be playing Star Citizen in 2050.
That's the idea from CIG and from Chris Roberts, is that this is a 20+ year game, right?
Post-release, yes.
You know what? We are in the first generation right now of orbital constellations.
For sure.
What's going to happen? Who knows where we're going to be in 5 years? Where were we 5 years?
I was just going to say,
you know,
they do thankfully have a perfectly alternative option. They could just use Starlink instead if they had to, because Starlink will have laser interlinks by probably next year. Yep. But they had to do an enormous amount of work to try and drive the price down, and I think they're making them themselves far enough that they could actually do it.
Yeah,
because they're very expensive. Also, you have to. This is not trivial, okay? You remember? Have you ever pointed a laser pointer?
Yes.
Yeah. these satellites are not like 2 meters from each other. They are hundreds or even, well, probably hundreds or thousands of kilometers from each other. And they have to hit the laser like sensor on the other satellite in order to transmit the information. It has to be like ridiculously accurate.
Yeah.
You know? You have to have once, and they're all these things are moving relative to each other, and you still have to be able to shoot the other satellites with laser beams constantly.
It's all theoretical.
Amazing,
right?
It's amazing,
amazing. That stuff's all theoretical. It's all possible, and I think what CIG in that document are basically saying is, if this tech works, if it works out, then yeah, we can mesh one entire world in one instance. We can do it if the tech works out. If it doesn't, then we are limited by physics. Period.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like that's what it comes down to.
They're limited to continents, and that's probably just fine.
Even if they're limited to just continents, it's going to be 1,000-fold the population in one instance that you get in a traditional MMO. Period.
Yep.
Go play New World or World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy XIV. I
also do like their idea of using game mechanics to try and limit the number of people, because it'll seem more. I think if they're able to pull that off, to limit the number of people in a given area. They're talking about trying to use game mechanics to stop like all players on an entire server from gathering in the same 4-foot square. Because it would be very bad.
Urban Burger, yes, if they get the lasers working, the length of a connection through space is longer than the best possible length on Earth. But in space, it's faster because it's moving at the speed of light rather than on Earth when it's moving at the speed of cable.
Well, no, so to be clear, both of them are moving at the speed of light. However, inside a cable, first of all, the cable's not straight.
Yeah.
Secondly, the way that fiber optic cables work is the light actually bounces off the walls of the cable all the way along. That's not a straight line. In space, you are going straight up to the satellite and straight to another satellite and then straight back down. And also, light moves faster through a vacuum than it does through a fiber optic cable. So
it does work out. Physics works out that it's better to send it to space and across space and down than across a fiber optic cable through the ocean. It is faster. Again, the limit of what CIG can do, according to what they have just told us, is physics. If we can, I mean, you can't even break physics. If we can accommodate physics enough, then what they want is possible.
Because currently, I mean,
it's
honestly,
a huge savings. Urban Burger, it's a huge savings.
Our current, it's massive difference. Yeah. Our current best case scenario oceans is just by running giant cables like 10 feet across. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. That seems like a very low tech way to do it. But then I was like, well, how the hell else would you do it? Well, this is the other option. Is pretty much the only other option.
I'm sure someone somewhere has done a calculation, but I just spilled my beer as I went to try and Google it. So
you shouldn't do that. There are really good YouTube videos showing the benefits of the laser interlinks and how much faster they are. But I think it's about like some situations, especially across the globe, you can get it down to less than half the latency of a terrestrial connection. So
Starlink's internet is estimated to be 40% faster than fiber optics.
There you go. But yeah, it's you can get big benefits. There's even talk of like banks using it to do faster like stock exchange transactions than people using terrestrial internet. That type of thing, you know.
Oh my God, where did Shiver go?
I think he may have gotten food again. That seems to be a recurring theme.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't want to show off on me too.
Well, don't eat yet because, ladies and
We have 1
gentlemen,
minute left in the show.
it's time for Shiver to tell you what's happening in Shiverland.
What's
Oh,
happening in
shit.
Shiverland,
Yeah.
Shiver?
So, let's see. What day was that? On Monday, 22nd, over on twitch.tv/Table of Horrors, we're doing part 2 of our Wraith game, which has been really good. And a bit chaotic to organise, but we got there in the end. And then later in that week, we have Oxford by Night, because American Thanksgiving, we're skipping London by Gaslight this week. Tune in.
Yes, tune in. I can actually say now, because it's been a long time since I had been able to say this before, but I was recently part of a game that was run by Shiver, and it was quite a shit ton of fun. You should go and watch some of Shiver's games. They're quite entertaining.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Period. It was fun. It was good. Shiver's a good DM.
Checks in
He's
the
just
post.
awesome.
Sweet. Anyway, I guess if you'd like to come and watch us talk about video games, I think we'll probably do a show on Tuesday, talk about general video games, because I don't know if there's been too much news, but
General video games.
yeah, video games that are not Star Citizen. Carbide.
It always depends, right? We still have a couple days until that show, but there are a lot of really good games that just came out.
Yes.
So go and play some games, folks. There's lots of good stuff out there.
Carbide, honestly, that's a question I've been asking for a long time, is how we traverse some of these systems that are really, 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 really big, and I genuinely don't know, and it's something that's going to have to be answered at some point. But
You have to take a little bit of the black hole and shove it into your engine, and then you get to go faster.
the thing is that CIG will do what the CIG will do what they continue to do, is they'll balance the game for what's in the game at the time. Right now they're balancing the game for Stanton being the only thing in the game. And if at some point Stanton becomes the tiniest thing in the world and there's these significantly bigger systems, then the balance is going to change. Because they've been stressing it more and more lately, which is something that I'm really, really happy about, is that fun does trump realism.
Yep,
Because
and
that's
they
the way it
started
needs to be.
They always try and start at realism so they can ground the feature in something that they think is like actually a thing that could happen, and then they go, okay, now we got that, and now we're gonna go find how to make it fun.
Here's a great example. They started the trams at realism. Realistic speeds, realistic intervals, and then when you were waiting for like 4 minutes between a tram and it was shit, they were like, okay, this isn't fun. Let's make the trams just freaking light speed across the bloody planet so that you can actually get to where you want to be and not have to wait longer than a minute for a tram. Because that's it. You shouldn't. It's a video game. So whatever ends up... Go ahead, Shiver.
I watched this documentary once where someone actually did use a singularity-based engine in their ship.
Really?
And it
Yeah,
started
it was a
spewing
great
out
documentary.
time. It was, and the problem was, though, that it broke down, and it affected that ship, everyone on the ship, a nearby ship, and everyone on that ship, and they kept sort of in this small time loop. They were frozen for a bit, destroyed each other, then it reversed itself.
Oh,
Really?
that
So
sounds
you can't really
interesting.
use it.
I've never seen this documentary. What's it called?
Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh, very interesting title.
I've heard of that. Isn't it like 18 seasons long? Is all of it about this one instance?
I think
Because
it's-
that's...
no, 7 seasons for Star Trek TNG.
I don't
Yep.
remember.
Yeah, you're right.
But, you know, all good things come to an end.
Yep. Including this show. I don't know if it's a good thing or not.
Is this a good thing?
I don't know, but thank you all so much for coming. Check out Shivers Casts. Check us out on Tuesday for general video game talk. Come back next Saturday for more of whatever this is. And, as always,